Your assignment this week is to be with the emotions. Fear, hurt, anger, sadness, joy, noticing the myth of bad emotions. So you can write out your beliefs about emotions. I think being angry is bad. I think I should overcome fear. I was told that. Be more confident. Consider that. Really look at it. Fear, hurt, anger, sadness, and joy. 5 core emotions. Most people say, why is there 4 bad ones? Why is there 4 negative ones? Can I just not have the negative ones? I just want the joy. Doesn't work that way.
A guide into you. So day by day, you're becoming more and more, saying, doing, and being what actually matters to you.
Welcome back. I'm George Miller, leadership and life coach, sharing with you lessons to help you live the life that you want to. Sometimes maybe even a life that's a little richer and deeper than you knew you wanted to. Woo! We'll see about that. So, you started off with your noticing the drama triangle, noticing how you act like a victim, a persecutor, or a rescuer, noticing how other people do that. So you've been recognizing that. And if you haven't done that one, I highly recommend that you go back and scoop that up. There's a video on it, the lesson part, outlining the mini thing for you to do throughout the week, slightly different than what you usually do. That's the strategy that you take with this, is just a little outside of your comfort zone. So go back, check that one out if you haven't. This week, what you're going to be doing is noticing the myth of bad emotions. What do I mean about bad emotions in that myth? So consider that every single thing you feel has a purpose. That there's no such thing as a bad emotion. As I've done this work more and more in this emotional intelligence, I get, I'm passionate about this. This is a huge freaking deal. I could get up on my soapbox and preach about it, except that when things happen, new things happen, I feel afraid, I feel hurt, I feel angry, I feel sad, I don't feel much joy, and I usually immediately think something's wrong with me, I'm a terrible person, and I just need to stop feeling so bad. I need to stop feeling so afraid. Oh, I shouldn't feel so afraid anymore. I shouldn't feel hurt about that. God, I shouldn't be that upset. I shouldn't be so angry. I do that a whole lot. So as much as my higher self likes this lesson, loves the idea of there being no bad emotions, I sure don't act like it most of the time. I act like it more than I used to. I used to really shut myself down and not feel things. I used to drink a buttload just so that I was numbing myself all the time. And I was out of it, so if I did express emotions and heartfelt warmth and sadness and this stuff, I wasn't really there. I wasn't really present. I wasn't conscious. Way different to be in deep grief when not drinking. So, anyway, I'm patting myself on the back. I've made some progress with accepting my emotions and embracing all of my feelings. And I got a long way to go. So consider that. Really look at it. Fear, hurt, anger, sadness, and joy. 5 core emotions. Most people say, Why is there 4 bad ones? Why is there 4 negative ones? Can I just not have the negative ones? I just want the joy. Doesn't work that way. I like this way of looking at it. So, on stereo systems, how you get the bass bumping up, mids come in, trebles going at different times. That's like us and our emotions. If I'm alive, I'm feeling some level of anxiety. I'll make that be the high end. If I'm alive, I'm feeling some kind of hurt. Maybe I'm not in touch with it. Maybe I'm not expressing it. But I am feeling, or there's at least the possibility to be feeling hurt. Then there's anger, some of those mids. Things piss me off. I used to be like, no, I don't get angry. I'm better than that. Such a good liberal. No. I'm pissed off about all kinds of things. And my feelings are hurt about the tiniest little perceived slights. Nobody even has to do anything egregious. I remember one time I was having a birthday celebration, and I asked for exactly what I wanted in the birthday celebration, and I got it, but I noticed that I didn't have any cards. And so I said something. I was like, oh man, nobody got me any birthday cards. And one person who had organized the party looked at me with kind of horror and was like, George, you said you didn't want any. I was like, oh, yeah, I did. But so right there, I was hurt just because, or whatever. I could run down that rabbit hole and try to uncover why I was hurt about that. At some degree, it doesn't even matter. What was helpful was that I expressed it and I said something, and then I wasn't resenting my friends. I wasn't resenting my friend who put it together. I was like, oh, it's true, I did say that. And we were able to connect. So I used the feeling. Anyway, I'm getting way too far ahead of myself on this lesson. Maybe I'm dangling a little carrot for you to continue on to the next lessons. Your assignment this week is to be with the emotions: fear, hurt, anger, sadness, joy, noticing the myth of bad emotions. So you can write out your beliefs about emotions. I think being angry is bad. I think I should overcome fear. I was told that. Be more confident. You just have to act more confident. Well, in one way, that's kind of like saying you just need to lie. And there is value to that. There is value to faking it until you make it. Fine, totally. But I think even more so if you can understand what's happening inside your body and inside your psyche as you're faking it like you make it, I think you're going to have more success. So start off noticing your emotions, being aware of the myth of bad emotions. And so just track it. You don't even have to do anything about it, but notice what you're feeling. Notice other people expressing feelings. Notice, let's say that you have a dad who expresses anger. Notice how when he's expressing anger, or think back on the times that you were around him that he would, and your judgments about that. Notice your judgments about people expressing sadness. Notice your judgments about people even expressing joy. Honestly, I come from an environment, a conservative Christian Mennonite, Amish Mennonite background that then was doing this evangelical free thing that was created for some interesting stuff. But in that space, that's interesting. For the most part, it was really tamped down your aliveness overall. Any of your feelings are not that great. It was okay to feel hurt if I was feeling bad for other people. Also a great way to open up the door to make it be allowed to gossip about people. Oh, I'm so worried about what they're doing. Notice the rescuer playing out here. It was okay to express hurt and sadness about the world and other people that were not me or anybody in my family, my immediate family. And it also wasn't okay to express a whole lot of joy. That's how I got on that tangent with my community. It was, too much aliveness, too much joy. It was a bad thing. Settle down. Totally. And I think there's a lot of people that will relate to that. Like, if you are too excited about something, it's going to guarantee you get killed. That's way too far of a leap, but it's going to guarantee that something bad happens. Don't celebrate too much because that'll mean that it's going to get taken away. That belief is totally in there. I tracked it with one big way. I think it comes from how that shows up for Mennonites. But anyway, just be aware of it. You can investigate it. So our emotions have purpose. There's a reason that I feel afraid, hurt, angry, sad, and joyful about things. The function of fear is to alert me to danger. Hurt lets me know I'm freaking hurt. If you think about it like in physical terms, if I didn't feel hurt in my hand and it was burning because I was like picking up a pan, that kind of damage, I'd lose my hand pretty quickly. It serves a function to feel hurt. Anger. The function of anger is to move away from something that's hurting me towards not being hurt, or to move me from where I'm at towards something pleasurable. So away from pain towards pleasure. That's the function of anger. So these things are good. Sadness. To grieve the loss of something important to me. I'm sad about people in my life who have died. I don't want to not be sad about that. That sadness helps me remember how important they are to me. It helps me think things like, oh, they're living on through me in this little way that I'm doing because I'm remembering them. And that sadness, if I didn't have that sadness, I wouldn't have access. I might be able to think about logically some things they did, but it's really that feeling of grief that actually very quickly takes me back to that person and what they mean to me. Not just what they meant to me, but what they mean to me here and now in my life while I'm alive on this planet. I think sadness is a beautiful emotion. And joy. Joy, it deepens the learning. If I feel excited about getting something, getting a promotion at work, it helps deepen all the learnings I had to get there. Like, oh yeah, I did that thing, I did that. Oh yeah, cool, and I made this happen, yes! That's what we want. We want joy. Joy is celebrating and having that experience excite us and want more of that. Joy has us go towards things and say, oh, that was a wonderful challenge I overcame, and yeah, now there's this other thing that I'm going to do. Cool. So there's a purpose in joy. There's all kinds of stuff with joy too. I'm around just being. Enjoying the moment. Being able to take things in. Because I could go on the one hand and just succeed, and never stop and smell the roses. Never stop and notice who I was really interacting with. Never really stop and notice the me that was developing and all of that. How sad would that be? To miss all the joy that's available. And see, right there, the sad, it serves a purpose. To mourn the loss of the relationships that I didn't really value in the past. that makes it way more likely that I will be available to those people that I didn't value as much in the past, and more available to people who I haven't even met yet. Sadness can really open me up to things. So the myth of bad emotions, investigating how you feel about stuff and what you believe about that, about your feelings. You know, you can do a survey, fear, hurt, anger, sadness, joy, write out what you've thought about them in the past. And then you could even do a visioning one for yourself. Like, I thought that fear meant I was a wuss. I'd like fear to actually be a power tool that helps alert me to things that I wouldn't have realized if I was trying to avoid my fear. Ha! There you go. Let's do one for hurt. I thought that hurt meant that if I felt hurt, I was just going to be completely overwhelmed and taken advantage of, and I could never show anybody hurt, let alone acknowledge that I was feeling hurt about something, because it would just be too much. And I would absolutely fall apart. Well, from that to hurt is really going to alert me to things that matter to me. And I'm going to share ways that I'm hurt with people who I care about so that they get to know me more. They get to know my vulnerabilities more. I'm going to share my hurt with people so that they can tend to me. You know, guys, I think we're all at this point where we're waking up to, oh yeah, I can be masculine and have vulnerability at the same time. You know, to show that my feeling that I'm touchable, that my wife can actually get through to me. You know, that desire, there's a hunger in hurt. You know, to let a woman see, I'm talking to us guys, or however we do this, however you see yourself. Letting yourself as a woman, letting another woman see the hunger in your eyes to be seen and to connect. That takes being in touch with hurt. Being in touch with my own hurt, the ways that I wasn't seen, you know. Or a guy. It doesn't even have to be sexualized. You know, as I am seeing my friends, oh, here's one. This was years ago. I went to a party, and one of my friends, was a new friend, was like so excited to show me. He like invited me to this thing, and it was a freaking rager. Parties like this, I haven't seen them happen in a while, like this in Chicago. It's probably good things about that, and I think there's sad things about it. But this thing was awesome. And I'm like going up these stairs, and I was like, holy wow. And my friend sees me, and he sees that I'm like stoked. And I was like, whoa, I'm like being welcomed into this amazing thing. And he was like all excited. And then in that moment, I think I felt afraid and vulnerable, and I didn't want to like really let on that I was like as happy and excited as I was to be there and to be included. And so I kind of acted cool, and I dissed him. To this day, I still feel hurt about that. I was like, God, that's horrible. Ouch. I was afraid and insecure and already heard about something else, and so I didn't go there with that when it would have been a cool moment. Fine, you know, so that kind of thing. Noticing that hurt that I felt I didn't connect as deeply as I could have in that moment. I was hungry for it, and I was, not mature enough to. Allowing myself to feel hurt. So anyway, from hurt being something where I'm going to totally die, or everyone's going to hate me for feeling hurt, or I'm just not going to be able to handle it, to being like, oh, actually feeling hurt is a sign of maturity. is a sign that I can really be with myself and my hunger for more in this world. All right, anger. You can do this with anger. Anger is, oh man, that's a sin, or that's bad. If I show anger, I'm going to be rejected. Oh, I just don't do that. I'm above that. So from that kind of relationship that I might have with anger towards something more like, whoa, yeah, anger gets me going. There's something out there I want. I'm like pissed I don't have it. I'm going to harness this anger towards an outcome that I want. And that feels good. That using anger in that kind of way brings in joy and delight. There's movement there. Versus, oh, don't feel angry. The problem with trying not to feel angry about stuff is that it has to go somewhere. I am feeling angry. And so what a lot of us do is internalize it and criticize ourselves instead of using that anger to drive towards something that we want. Whoa. Guilty liberals. Guilty anybody, probably. And I'll say this. I out of everybody I've coached, most people, I venture to say 100% of people that I've worked with, biggest critic is themselves. Most people talk to themselves in a way they would never talk to their own kid or even their friend. Probably some sociopaths out there, fine. But most of us, we take the anger that we feel in some kind of way and we beat ourselves up with it. It's much more effective to use it as a get up and go. If I catch myself in self-pity, like if I'm playing basketball, I'll like do something stupid on the court, and like I could totally go towards just being, I never get anything right. Why am I even playing? I should just go home. Yeah, I could do that. And sometimes I do. And sometimes I do like verbally yell at myself, idiot. At least that's kind of an uptick. I'm getting it out a little bit. I'm expressing it. And then I'll even get it to like, okay, come on, like get yourself together. Not going to let that happen again. You're going to be focused. You're going to get what you want. There we go. Now I'm getting the anger into a good spot. That's fun there. It's fun, productive. Most people enjoy that kind of anger coming from you. It's like, yeah, let's do this. Let's be a team and get this thing done. So that's the kind of, from I'm a horrible person because I'm mad at something, mad at somebody, to, oh, no, this has given me really valuable data about getting what I want and moving things in a positive direction. Okay, sadness. Sadness. From, geez, if I let myself feel that, then I'm going to be weak and I have to hold it all together. If I feel how sad I might actually feel, I'm just going to be a puddle of grief on the ground for all eternity. That is how it feels, yo. That is. I mean, when I'm feeling really sad about something, oh boy. Like, I don't want to feel sad. I'm afraid it's never going to stop. I'm afraid I'm just going to turn into, like, crying forever. It hasn't happened. But, so from that, so sadness is going to overwhelm and be too much and I can't handle it, to sadness is a gift that helps me connect with myself, with other people. It helps me mourn the loss. It helps me really acknowledge what is meaningful. I had a mentor that once said, consider that being sad is a completely viable way of living. God. You know, I mean, what freaking poet, artist, musician, great leader isn't able to reach into the depths of sadness and be there? So, sadness, more of a gift. Joy. So, joy. From joy being, looking silly or looking too eager, making you vulnerable, don't be too excited, towards, oh, no, joy is freaking great. Why not feel joy? Helps me connect to people, helps people be attracted to me. I'm attractive when I'm alive and joyful. Feels good. It's energizing. Joy can build on joy. And it's like, wow, where's all this energy coming from? Oh my gosh, it's coming from me. How did this happen? To that being joy. Okay. So, there's some other things that you can do with this assignment of noticing how you've thought emotions are bad. I'll probably do a separate video on this in the future. The in-out, up-down model is a really helpful tool for this, helping you develop your relationship with your emotions. In fact, I think there's a video I might have online. We'll put it in there. We'll get the link in there. And if it's not there, I'll just put it on. So the in-out, up-down model, noticing when I want to down-regulate, that might be a time to kind of let myself be with the sadness. Notice, sometimes people are really freaking sad are like acting happy, like, just on top of that, and you're like, oh man, they could burst at any moment. So that's, sometimes people will upregulate their emotions as a way to avoid what's really going on with them in that time. And so it might actually take you practicing, or we'll start with noticing where you go up, where you act more energized than you really are to avoid feelings. Then you can also notice where sometimes you might be somebody who downregulates more and goes more into sadness and glumness and that kind of thing. Or freezing, just not doing anything out of fear at all, and where it might serve you to upregulate. And then there's the way of taking in, feeling more things. Kind of, it's like it adds to you, it adds to your character. So you might need to practice that. Notice where you avoid allowing yourself time with your feelings. Allowing, I'm on micro moments with this too, by the way. In my coaching sessions, I'm always afraid and hurt and angry and all that. And, all that. Even, just notice that. The way I said that was, I think, disrespectful to emotions. And all these beautiful, luscious emotions. So as you can see, I'm always working this. We're starting with noticing your feelings, noticing the thoughts that you have about them. I totally got sidetracked off of what I was saying. I don't even remember anymore. Oh, allowing them in, allowing your emotions in. And then there's the putting out. So communicating, allowing others to see those emotions, allowing other people to see me feeling sad or joyful or hurt or angry or afraid. So this is the in-out, up-down model, noticing where I could upregulate more or regulate out or downregulate the emotions or regulate in. Okay. Have a blast this week being with your emotions, or noticing your beliefs about them. And, we'll check this out. So you could ask yourself as we're closing up this lesson, rate from 1 to 10. Get out a piece of paper if you want, or just do it in your head. How well you think you do on a scale of 1 to 10. How well do you know what you're feeling in your body? On a scale of 1 to 10, how you identify emotions. On a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you identify your feelings and express them? On a scale of 1 to 10, how at ease are you with your emotions? Can you flow back and forth from one emotional state to another? On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you welcome your feelings as an important part of your experience, of this human experience? On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you rate yourself in accepting your emotions? On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you rate yourself in feeling the full range? Fear, hurt, anger, sadness, joy, to the max on all of them. How much do you let yourself really shiver in terror, or really shiver in delight? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you express all feelings in a way that completes that emotion? That completes it and leads you to more truth and understanding about yourself and perhaps a situation. How often, on a scale of 1 to 10, do you really let yourself express your hurt? Such that you really are aware of that and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. Well, God, it feels good to do it. And as scared as I was to say it, boy, I'm glad I did. It's like I had to, even though I was resisting it. On a scale of 1 to 10, how often do you complete your emotions like that? On a scale of 1 to 10, how often do you look for your internal state to the information that feelings offer? Like, do I let myself notice how afraid I feel about a meeting coming up so that I pay attention to what I'm afraid about in that meeting? Or am I just opening up the refrigerator, looking inside, or looking at my phone to avoid feeling afraid? So on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate yourself in terms of how you look at your feelings for information? Okay, that's a good place to start. We're going to keep going next week with more feelings stuff, so no rush. Be with this assignment and noticing the myth of bad emotions. Aware of yourself, aware of others, the beliefs about emotions. And keep track of it. Fear, hurt, anger, sadness, joy. Yep, there's a whole bunch of other feelings. We'll do things about that. But these are the primary ones. These are just core feelings that help move out of drama. When I take responsibility for my fear, hurt, anger, sadness, joy, I am able to respond effectively to things in a way that if I'm saying like, well, I'm just kind of frustrated, there's not quite the depth and power to that. Now, if you're in a boardroom, or whatever your environment might be, you might not say, I'm angry. Absolutely tailor your feeling language to your environment. But for the purposes of you and your development, there's no need to make cases that other feelings are more important or more primary or something. Roll with this, you'll get a lot of value out of it. All feelings are wonderful and beautiful. These 5 this way is an effective way of doing it. So go forth, notice fear, hurt, anger, sadness, joy, your beliefs about those, and we'll get into some more next week.